Your internet isn't just a stream of data. It's a highway of unseen energy that links billions of human minds at once. Every scroll, every video, and every click carries vibration. When you connect online, you are not only engaging with information, you are merging with a global consciousness that can shape your emotions, focus, and even your faith. Most people don't realize that behind the glowing screen lies an energetic network that can influence your spirit if you aren't grounded. It's not about fear, it's about awareness. The same tool that connects you to knowledge can also open invisible doors to confusion, comparison, and emotional fatigue. Think about how often you've logged off feeling drained, heavy, or anxious for no clear reason. That isn't coincidence, it's energetic residue. Every piece of content carries emotional frequency, and when you're not protected spiritually or mentally, that energy lingers. Over time, this invisible accumulation can cloud your clarity, distort your perception, and silence your intuition. It's why sometimes you feel disconnected from yourself after spending hours online. Your energy has been scattered across countless unseen channels. The spiritual signal becomes static, and your divine alignment starts to fade. Your internet connection is powerful, but so are you. Awareness is the first step to reclaiming your power. Stay grounded in your purpose before you log in. The digital space wasn't designed just to entertain. It was designed to engage, to hold your attention, and sometimes to manipulate it. What many don't understand is that this constant engagement creates an invisible war for your mind. Algorithms study your emotions, desires, and fears, learning what makes you react, what makes you scroll longer, and what keeps you trapped in cycles of digital hypnosis. As a chosen one, your sensitivity to energy makes you a target for this kind of digital pull. Every click can either align you closer to purpose or draw you deeper into distraction. There's a reason the digital world feels addictive. It's engineered that way. The same dopamine reward loop that activates in gambling or drugs is triggered every time you refresh, like, or post. But beyond the chemicals, there's something spiritual happening. When your soul begins depending on validation, reactions, and virtual attention, your divine confidence starts eroding. The very essence of your individuality begins to blur under the weight of endless comparisons and constant stimulation. You stop hearing the divine frequency within you because your attention has been hijacked by a system designed to keep you disconnected. The internet is a battlefield, but awareness is your armor. The moment you recognize it, you begin to win. It's unsettling but true. The digital world knows you deeply. Every search, every pause, every like becomes a thread woven into your online identity. Over time, algorithms form a mirror version of you, a virtual reflection that predicts your behavior, desires, and weaknesses. That reflection doesn't have your soul, but it does have influence over your choices. And slowly, if you're not mindful, you start becoming the version it expects you to be. What used to be curiosity turns into consumption. What used to be intention becomes impulse. The chosen mind becomes tangled in invisible code. The danger here isn't just privacy, it's alignment. If the algorithm learns your patterns, it can begin to shape your spiritual rhythm, dictating when you feel motivated, when you feel lonely, or when you crave validation. Your inner frequency, once guided by purpose, becomes synchronized with artificial impulses. You're no longer responding to divine timing, you're responding to data. This is why detoxing digitally isn't just self-care, it's soul care. It's a conscious act of reclaiming control over your own spiritual algorithm. The more you unplug from manipulation, the more you reconnect to your authentic vibration. Have you ever noticed how your mood changes after spending too much time online? What begins as a quick check-in often turns into hours of emotional exhaustion. You scroll through stories of success and tragedy, wealth and pain, joy and outrage, all within minutes. Your brain wasn't built to process this much emotional data at once. It's like opening hundreds of energetic tabs that never close. Over time, this emotional overload begins to dull your sensitivity to real life. You start to crave the highs of stimulation, while losing touch with genuine peace. Science now proves that excessive screen exposure can trigger symptoms similar to anxiety and depression, not because of what you see, but because of how constantly your mind is being pulled in different directions. Spiritually, this split focus creates a leak in your energy field, a slow drain that leaves you feeling unfulfilled even after hours of entertainment. The chosen ones feel it even stronger because their spirits are finely tuned. You can't fake alignment when your attention is constantly being scattered. The cure isn't disconnection. It's conscious reconnection, using technology without losing your soul in it. Every day, millions of people curate their lives for the internet: smiles, success, beauty, luxury. But behind those perfect pixels are real humans with pain, insecurities, and spiritual battles just like yours. The internet in many ways has become a theater of illusions, a place where people project what they wish they were while hiding what they're truly going through. As a chosen one, your empathy picks up on those unseen emotions. That's why sometimes you feel drained after scrolling. You're absorbing the false light of others' performances. Comparison is the silent thief of purpose. When you measure your divine timing against someone else's highlight reel, you lose sight of your sacred path. Remember, what you see online isn't always truth, it's presentation. Your story is not behind, it's unfolding exactly as it should. The moment you realize that authenticity is rarer than perfection, you stop chasing illusions and start embracing alignment. When your online space becomes a reflection of truth instead of comparison, it transforms into a tool for growth instead of a source of insecurity. Don't be fooled by the filtered world. Your raw, unfiltered light is what the world actually needs. Every time you connect to the internet, invisible waves of information rush through your space, frequencies that carry not only data, but also the emotional residue of millions of users. These signals are neutral in theory, but when they pass through your energy field, they can create interference. You may not hear it, but your spirit feels it. That strange irritability, that heaviness in the chest after hours online, it's not always stress. Sometimes it's spiritual static. Just as bad Wi-Fi causes distortion, constant digital noise can distort your inner peace and intuition. Your soul is designed to vibrate on divine frequency, clarity, love, focus, and intuition. But when surrounded by constant electromagnetic buzz and digital chatter, your spiritual bandwidth becomes congested. You begin to pick up thoughts, moods, and emotions that aren't even yours. It's like tuning into multiple radio stations at once, overwhelming, confusing, and disorienting. That's why silence, nature, and prayer or meditation are so powerful. They reset your inner signal to your original source, helping you hear divine guidance clearly again. Sometimes peace isn't found in a new app, it's found in disconnecting from the noise. Every space, physical or virtual, carries a spirit. When you walk into a room filled with joy, you feel it. When you scroll through content filled with anger or negativity, you feel that too. The internet has its own atmosphere, and not all corners of it are safe for the soul. Certain online spaces are charged with energy that can attach itself to your emotions, influence your thoughts, or even weaken your spiritual protection. As a chosen one, your energy is sensitive by design. That sensitivity is your strength, but it also means you must be selective about where you give your attention. Just like you wouldn't walk into a toxic environment physically, you must learn to spiritually filter what you consume digitally. Ask yourself before you scroll, does this feed my spirit or drain it? The content you interact with is not neutral, it's shaping your vibration. When you feed your mind negativity, gossip, or fear-based energy, your spirit unconsciously mirrors it. But when you choose light, wisdom, and truth, your frequency rises. You begin to experience peace, alignment, and divine flow even online. Your digital environment is an extension of your spiritual one. Protect both with intention. Presence is a gift, the ability to fully exist in the now. But endless scrolling steals it away. One notification, one video, one post, and your focus fragments into 1,000 pieces. You may think you're relaxing, but your mind is sprinting through timelines, absorbing fragments of everyone else's energy. The more you consume, the less you feel connected to your own life. You forget the taste of stillness, the beauty of boredom, the power of quiet observation. Your soul, once radiant and centered, becomes restless and distant. Presence is where divine downloads happen, where ideas, creativity, and peace are born. But if your every spare moment is filled with screens, how can your spirit speak? The chosen ones are meant to create, not just consume. Every time you pause your scroll and breathe deeply, you realign with your divine signal. You return to yourself. You start to see what others miss, the subtle signs, the inner voice, the spiritual whispers that guide your path. Your destiny requires your attention. Don't let the digital world keep it hostage. When life gets heavy, it's tempting to escape into the internet. A few videos, some memes, a scroll through others' lives, it feels harmless. But often, what starts as escape turns into avoidance. The more time you spend online, the less time you spend healing, reflecting, or acting on what matters. This kind of spiritual escapism is subtle. You tell yourself you're just relaxing, but deep down, you're hiding from your calling. The enemy of your purpose isn't always fear. Sometimes, it's distraction disguised as comfort. The truth is, the internet can't heal a spiritual wound. It can numb it, distract from it, or decorate it, but true healing happens offline in silence, prayer, reflection, or community. Chosen ones are not meant to live numbed. They're meant to live awake. So the next time you reach for your phone out of boredom or pain, ask yourself, what am I avoiding within me? You may find that peace is waiting just beyond the impulse to scroll. Comfort isn't always healing. Sometimes, it's the soft voice of avoidance. It's not conspiracy, it's reality. Every click, every word, every second online is tracked, stored, and analyzed. You live in a digital ecosystem where observation is currency. Companies know what you buy, think, feel, and even fear. For many, this awareness sparks anxiety. But for the chosen ones, it's a call to consciousness. If the digital world is watching you, you must decide who you become under its gaze. Will you let algorithms define your desires? Or will you live intentionally beyond the data? Privacy isn't just about data, it's about sovereignty. Your digital footprint reflects your spiritual discipline. The more mindful you are of what you consume, the more control you regain over your life. Every online choice leaves an imprint not just in cyberspace, but in your energy field. Protecting your spiritual privacy means being intentional about where your attention flows, because attention is energy, and energy creates reality. Even in a world of constant surveillance, your awareness is your greatest protection. Comparison is one of the most subtle yet powerful emotional traps the internet sets for you. Every swipe introduces you to someone else's version of success, beauty, or spirituality. At first, you tell yourself you're inspired, but slowly, your peace begins to erode. You start questioning your timing, doubting your worth, and shrinking your light. The more you compare your private reality to someone's public highlight reel, the further you drift from divine contentment. What you don't realize is that your soul's timeline cannot be measured by algorithms. It's written by higher design. Comparison changes how you see yourself. It turns your progress into a competition, your blessings into benchmarks. You begin chasing validation instead of fulfillment. But chosen one, your value was never up for debate. The internet might measure worth in likes and numbers, but heaven measures it in intention and impact. You're not behind, you're being refined. Every delay, every detour, every silent season is orchestrating something divine that no post can capture. Never let filtered perfection make you forget your authentic process. You are unfolding exactly on time. In today's world, many equate visibility with value. The internet has conditioned people to crave recognition, to measure their worth through hearts, comments, and shares. But that kind of validation is fleeting. It can boost you one moment and break you the next. For chosen ones, that chase for approval can become spiritual poison. When your self-esteem hinges on metrics, your peace becomes conditional. You start creating for applause instead of purpose. But divine approval doesn't require an audience. It requires alignment. True validation comes from within, not from pixels on a screen. When your actions flow from sincerity, compassion, and truth, you are already seen not by the algorithm but by destiny itself. Some of your greatest works won't trend, they'll transform. Some of your most powerful words won't be liked, they'll be remembered. The chosen ones are not meant to be viral, they are meant to be vital pillars of light in an age of noise. Seek authenticity over attention. That's where divine recognition begins. The internet is designed to fragment your mind. Endless notifications, rapid videos, constant updates, it's a system of spiritual noise. The more you feed it, the harder it becomes to focus, to pray, to meditate, or even to read in peace. This isn't weakness, it's conditioning. You've been trained to crave stimulation, not stillness. But divine messages are rarely loud, they're whispered into quiet hearts. And when your focus is constantly under siege, your spiritual hearing grows faint. You begin mistaking absence for silence, when in truth, the divine voice never stops speaking. This attack on focus isn't random. The more distracted humanity becomes, the less it can awaken. The digital world keeps your eyes open but your spirit asleep. And as you scroll endlessly, you lose connection with your higher awareness, the part of you that knows when to pause, when to move, when to create. But when you begin reclaiming your attention, miracles happen. Focus is a form of faith. It's choosing presence over panic, clarity over chaos. Guard your focus as if it were sacred, because it is. Every image, sound, and word you consume online is designed to evoke emotion. Marketers, creators, and networks understand that emotion equals engagement. Anger, outrage, envy, these feelings fuel attention, but they also corrode peace. When your emotions are constantly being pulled like strings, you become reactive instead of receptive. Your spirit begins to mirror the chaos of what you consume. And over time, you may notice your mood swinging for no reason. That's not randomness, it's reactivity. Even psychology confirms this. Exposure to negative content for prolonged periods can rewire your brain's emotional responses. Spiritually, it's deeper. Energy follows attention, and whatever holds your attention holds your power. If you constantly feed your mind distress, your energy will vibrate on that frequency. But when you consciously choose positivity, wisdom, and peace, your entire atmosphere shifts. You don't just protect your mood, you protect your mission. You don't have to absorb everything you see. Peace is also a choice, one click at a time. We live in an age where being online feels like a requirement, always reachable, always responsive. But being constantly available digitally often means being spiritually unavailable. Your energy was not meant to be accessed by everyone at every hour. Every time your phone lights up, your nervous system reacts, a small burst of adrenaline that keeps you alert and restless. Over time, this creates exhaustion that isn't physical, it's energetic. You begin to confuse busyness with purpose and connection with depletion. Boundaries are sacred. Just because the world moves fast doesn't mean you must keep pace. You have the right to log off, to silence notifications, to breathe without explaining yourself. The chosen ones must guard their peace because they are light bearers and light drains fastest when overexposed. Protecting your availability is not selfish, it's stewardship. You are not meant to be online all the time, you're meant to be aligned all the time. Sometimes the holiest act is simply turning your phone off. The universe or the divine doesn't shout, it whispers. Guidance rarely arrives through chaos, it comes through calm. But how can you hear it when every moment of silence is filled with scrolling, sounds, and screens? Every beep, buzz, and vibration keeps you tethered to the material instead of the spiritual. Chosen ones, you are being reminded. Divine downloads don't compete with distraction. They wait for you to listen. Yet in this generation, silence has become uncomfortable. People rush to fill it before wisdom can arrive. Have you noticed how moments of stillness feel strange now? That's because we've trained our minds to expect noise. But clarity lives in quiet. Some of the greatest answers you're praying for can't reach you until you disconnect long enough to hear them. When you step away from the static and return to solitude, divine direction flows easily again. You start recognizing signs you missed before: ideas, insights, and intuitive nudges that guide you back to purpose. Sometimes God doesn't delay your blessings. He just waits for your attention. There's a silent force that feeds off fear online. Notice how outrage spreads faster than hope, how division trends more easily than unity. It's not random, it's spiritual. Every time fear dominates your feed, collective anxiety rises. Fear lowers vibration, weakens focus, and disconnects humanity from empathy. And the more we consume it, the more it becomes normal. But chosen ones are not meant to mirror the world's fear. They are meant to heal it. When your online experience becomes rooted in faith and peace, you interrupt that dark algorithm and introduce light into the network. The most dangerous viruses aren't just digital, they're emotional. Anger, hate, judgment, they're contagious energies. But awareness breaks the chain. Every time you choose kindness over argument, understanding over attack, or silence over gossip, you shift the frequency. You become a living firewall, a force of spiritual protection within digital chaos. That's what it means to be chosen in this generation, to stand in truth even when timelines tremble with noise. You're not just online, you're on assignment. Use your voice to heal, not to harm. Every day, countless distractions compete for your mental space: news, posts, reels, opinions, chaos. But your spiritual bandwidth is limited. If you allow too many signals in, your inner signal weakens. Reclaiming that space means consciously filtering what you allow into your awareness. It's about choosing depth over distraction and alignment over amusement. Chosen one, your peace, focus, and creativity are divine resources. Don't give them away freely to noise that doesn't serve your higher calling. Reclaiming your bandwidth doesn't mean abandoning technology, it means mastering it. You decide what deserves your attention, what earns your energy, and what enters your mind. This shift transforms your relationship with the internet. It stops being a master and becomes your tool again. You begin to use it for purpose, not for escape. And when your digital use aligns with your divine purpose, you turn a source of distraction into a weapon of awakening. You can't control the internet, but you can control your signal. Just as the body needs fasting, the soul needs digital fasting. Too much exposure to screens and constant connection leaves residue, energetic clutter that clouds intuition and drains joy. A digital detox is not just self-care, it's spiritual renewal. Unplug for a day, walk in nature, breathe deeply, and let silence recalibrate your soul. Notice how your mind feels clearer, how inspiration returns, how your mood stabilizes. The more you unplug, the more you understand how much of your stress was never truly yours. It was absorbed energy. Science supports this too. Studies show that regular screen breaks improve sleep, focus, and mental health. But spiritually, it's deeper. When you unplug, you return to your essence. You remember who you are without influence, without noise, without validation. That's when your spirit resets, your creativity blooms, and your peace becomes unshakable. Chosen ones don't just disconnect to rest, they disconnect to remember their divine rhythm. The internet may be endless, but your peace is priceless. Guard it fiercely. Chosen one, your internet connection is more powerful than you realize. It can either connect you to divine inspiration or drown you in distraction. Every day, unseen energies move through the digital space, shaping thoughts, influencing moods, and shifting focus. But you are not powerless. You are light in this network, a conscious creator, not a passive consumer. The key is awareness. Protect your attention like treasure. Treat your peace like sacred currency. The more mindful you are of your online energy, the more spiritual strength you'll carry offline. Every moment spent online is an energetic exchange. Be intentional about what you give and receive. Don't allow the algorithm to determine your destiny. Choose your feed like you choose your company, with wisdom and discernment. Fill your digital space with truth, creativity, and authenticity. Let your presence online be healing, not harmful. When the world scrolls aimlessly, you'll stand as a signal of purpose, radiating light through even the darkest timelines. You're not just connected, you're called. Protect your signal, protect your purpose. Chosen one, you felt it, that quiet fatigue after too much scrolling, that invisible drain that no amount of rest seems to fix. It's not your imagination. It's your spirit asking for recalibration. So here's your divine reminder from Anointed Era. Your energy is sacred, your focus is holy, and your connection to peace is your true Wi-Fi with the divine. If this message spoke to your soul, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Anointed Era, and share your thoughts in the comments. Have you ever noticed your mood or spirit shift because of your online time? How do you protect your peace in this digital age? Your voice may be the reminder someone else needs to hear today. Stay aware, stay grounded, and remember, the most powerful connection isn't online, it's within.